rock stars, Eric Andres, your guitar sage. Welcome. It's 12 o'clock. It's January the 19th. Friends, so glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking about the secret weapon to decode music. That's right, the secret weapon to decode music. And specifically, we're going to be using the circle of fifths here today. So glad to see you guys on this National Popcorn Day. That's right, friends, it's National Popcorn Day. Did you know that? I don't know what that means, but I guess for those of you who know what that means, why we're celebrating National Popcorn Day, enjoy the show, as they say. Enjoy the show, grab some popcorn, and here we go. Let's drop some music intel, if you will. Okay, here we go. Lots of things that we're going to be talking about today. I won't be looking at your pictures. Hi there, Sage. I won't be looking. I'm sorry. I won't be looking at your chat for a little while. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on the picture of the circle of fifths, and then we are going to talk about it. And guess what? And literally, climber, right? But literally, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, probably in less than a half hour, you guys are going to be able to use the circle of fifths. You're going to know how it works. You're going to be able to do some things. Check this out. Today, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how this works, and we're going to do a few things. Basically, I'm going to show you how to memorize the circle of fifths immediately. Literally, if you know the notes on the fretboard, which you should, because you've gone through my free course that over 500,000 people have gone through. That's right. Here it goes. YourGuitarSage.com/30. Get in there, and one of the lessons in there is how to know the notes on the fretboard very, very easily. It's super simple, but if you don't know the things, then no, it's not simple. So you got to know that. Once you know that, what I'm going to show you today, literally, you're going to know the circle of fifths on the guitar immediately from any note. I don't know about that, Eric. Trust me, okay? I got a plan for you, and we're going to go through it, and you're going to get this, okay? So just trust it. Okay, so here we go. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to determine all the notes within a key. So it doesn't matter the key. Once you're looking at the circle of fifths, you say, I want this key, and it'll just tell you what all the notes are. It's also, I'm literally looking at my notes right here. I'm going to tell you how to determine the relative major and minor immediately. I'm going to show you how to find the 1, 4, 5 progression, which are the most commonly used chords. I'm going to show you how to do that immediately, instantly, in any particular key, and show you where the 2, 3, 6 and the 7 is, or the 3 minor chords and the diminished chord. I'm going to show you all that. I'm also going to show you how to transpose seamlessly. What I mean by that is we can transpose, right? Go from one key to another, and I'll explain that. And we can do it in a way that's very uncomfortable, in a way that that is not going to sound very good, and then we can do it in a way that will be nice and smooth, okay? I'm going to show you how to do that today. I might tell you how to determine the key signature, aka sharps and flats in a particular key, okay? We'll see. We'll see how much time we have, okay? I want to make sure that I get to your questions today. A couple things here really quickly, friends. If you need to get in touch with me, text 833-744-0154, okay? 833-744-0154. If it's a very long question that needs a long explanation, I probably won't be able to do it unless you're one of my students and you join me for one of the live shows. If it's a simple question, then I can point you to the right video or answer your question for you, that sort of thing. That's the way to get in touch with me, to keep in touch with me. If you would like to be in the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, you can go to YourGuitarSage.com/30 or text 833-744-0154. Text the word FREE, F-R-E-E. If you're already in the Unstoppable Guitar System, just type in UGS, and now you'll be in touch with us. But if you haven't been in the course yet, type in FREE, F-R-E-E, to that number, and then you're going to be good to go. Cool? All right, here we go. So Mike, when you get a chance, you can pull up that picture of the circle of fifths, and here we go. I'm going to put my guitar down for this. No, I'm not yet. Actually, Mike, hold on for 1 second before you show that picture. Here we go. Check this out. Okay, so here I promised you many things today. I'm going to deliver on all of them. The very first thing is how to memorize the circle of fifths. Super easy. And before that, let's talk about what the circle of fifths is. The circle of fifths is literally just a way of looking at the notes. There are 12 notes in the chromatic scale. You know, in Western music, 99.99999% of all the music that you listen to is built upon diatonic harmony, which is based on the major scale, aka all of them would be, or not aka, but all the notes would be the chromatic scale, 12 notes, okay? So any of the symphonies that you've ever heard and what have you, they're only using 12 notes, but they're using them in different octaves and in different combinations, so it sounds like millions and millions of notes, you know, connected, yes, lots and lots of notes, but they're repeating the same notes over and over again, usually only about 7 notes in a particular key, okay? Now, the circle of fifths, okay, there are intervals. The interval is the distance between one note and the next. If I said the distance between here and here, you would say it's a half step, right? If we went from here to here, that's a whole step. Well, we also start getting into scale degrees when we're playing the major scale. So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, each one of those is, yes, it's an interval step. It's a step in the major scale, but they also have names. I won't get into all this because I cover this in the free course for you, which is available to you. I'm assuming you've gone through this already. But if we go from, you know, from here to here, that's called a 2. If we go from here to here, that's a 3. 1, 2, 3. If we want to go to 4, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a perfect fourth, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a perfect fifth. The perfect 4 and the perfect fifth are intervals that are used very often in music because they sound very resonant, just like the octave does. When we start getting into these, and we start getting into ones that don't resonate quite as soft or as what's the word I'm thinking of, palatable, if you will, you know, not as resonant. Okay, now, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's the fifth note of the scale, and that's called a fifth, also known as a perfect fifth. And so as musicians, it's good to know about this interval because it's very helpful. Maybe not for you today, but later on as you start learning more about music, that fifth interval is very helpful to be able to grab it really quickly. 1, because you're going to be building chords off of it. 2, as I'm going to show you, there's lots of reasons why you would want to know the circle of fifths. So essentially, instead of just going through the scale chromatically, you know, or going through the scale, the major scale, what we're doing is we are identifying the notes as they happen in fifths. Watch how easy this is. I can go here, here's a G. If I want to find the fifth, I know it's down 1 string and up 2 frets. Here's my G. I'm going to go down 1 string, up 2 frets, and that's the fifth. Cool. Now, if I wanted to go a fifth from here, I can play the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so it's an A. So, or I could play the A that's down here because they're both A's, right? So in the case of a G, if I wanted to go up a fifth, I'd go to the D. And then if I wanted to go up a fifth, again, I would come up here, or I could go down here, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to choose the A. And then if I want to go up a fifth again, just grab that guy again, and so on and so forth. That's literally the circle of fifths. Or we could start from the C. This is another way you could do it. You can go from a C to a G. And so you go C to a G, D to an A, E to a B, F sharp to a C sharp, and so on and so forth. That is literally the circle of fifths, okay? Now, some of these things you may need more help with. You know, everybody's coming here with a different different skill set, different way of learning, the whole 9 yards. So if you're interested in this, if you're in UGS already, I have a whole course on this, okay? This is a kind of scratching the surface of it, if you will. So if you don't get this stuff as I'm going along, it's okay. You can always get in the Unstoppable Guitar System. You can try it out for $1. Go to YourGuitarSage.com/UGS. Otherwise, you're in UGS already and you know it, or you just got the information from me here. So 3 different ways you can get it if you need more help with that. Super easy. You want to know the circle of fifths? It's just like this. Start on a C. That's literally the circle of fifths. So now, with that being said, let's take a look at my little picture here of the circle of fifths, and let me explain this to you. Can you, Mike? Thank you. Mike is he's a pro. He's a good guy to have around. Okay, this is the circle of fifths. Oddly enough, it looks like a circle. And we have all sorts of notes here, right? What I want you to do is I want you to think about the major keys, okay? There's 12 notes here. So think of this like a clock, okay? The key of C is the most popular key, arguably of all times, because it has no sharps or flats in it. As you can see right up here by the key signature, that there's no sharps and flats, and you can see that all the other keys have sharps and flats, okay? So we put C as the top there, as the king, okay? The Rex, if you will. It's all the way at the top. It's the key of C, and it has no sharps and flats, okay? And you can see what we're doing, if we move to the right here, we're moving in fifths. Okay, we're moving in fifths. If we go this way, we're moving in fifths as well, going down. Here we're going up in fifths, okay? Now, with that being said, that's all we've done here. We started at C, we went up, so just like that little thing where I showed you where it was like C, C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp. Okay, now you can see that this has C sharp or D flat, F sharp or G flat, because those are synonymous. We could have kept going with that, but we didn't, okay? But we could, A flat is equal to G sharp, et cetera, right? Okay, cool. Good. Don't get scared of this, friends. Don't get scared. I promise you, this is going to be super easy. This is the hardest part I'm showing you right now, okay? So just understand, we're just going through the notes that way. We're moving in fifths, okay? Now, why do we want to do this? Because if we set everything up like this, we're going to see some things that we didn't see before. And I'm going to show you. It's like having a decoder ring, okay? Okay, so let's talk about, so we talked about how to memorize it on the fretboard, super easy, right? How to determine notes within a key. So this is super easy. Now I'm going to put my guitar down because I'm going to need to get this keyboard in my hands here so this makes sense. Okay, so if you want to know all the notes that are in the key of C, this is what you're going to do. By the way, take a snapshot of the screen right now, okay? Or if you're watching this on, yeah, just go ahead and take a screenshot right now if you would. Okay, good. All right, there you go. Now you have this for later on. So if we want to know what all notes are in any key, watch this. This is so easy, a baby could do it. Okay, watch this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back one. So if I'm in the key of C, I'm going to go back to the F. Sorry, I wish I was doing this on my iPad. Alas, I'm not, and it's not very easy to do. So there you go. Those are the notes in the key of C. We have C, D, E, F, G, A, B. There's a little pattern in there too, isn't there? So that's all the notes that are in the key of C. If you wanted to say what are all the notes in the key of G, well, that's super easy. What you're going to do is you're going to start at the note that's right behind it. And again, my stinking, oh boy, I hate using this daggone mouse like this. I hate it. I hate it. Let's try this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take... this is really difficult. Okay, there are all the notes in the key of G. So what you do is you go back one and you circle and you count 7 notes. We got C, G, D, A, E, B, and F sharp. Huh, there's 1 sharp in it. Look at this. In our key signature, there's 1 sharp. And if we count every good boy does fine F, we have a sharp right there. What? Yep. So super cool, super easy, right? So we could do this with any key if we wanted to take the key of D. We'll do that, and we'll go backwards 1, and we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now in the key of, sorry, Jesus. Okay, so we got that, right? Now you can forget about the flats here. You know, when we're in the key of D, we say 2 sharps. And those 2 sharps should be an F and a C, and they are. The F is sharp again, and then here's our C. F, A, C is that space there, right? So we can see that there's 2 sharps in that key. So I told you that that I may not tell you how to determine the key signature or the sharps and flats, but I just did by mistake. So there you go, you get that as well. So the circle of fifths is great for telling you what notes are in a particular key, okay? It's not exciting yet. It's about to get super exciting. Watch. How to determine notes within a key. So we said that, right? How to determine the relative major and minor. Well, this particular one is easy, okay? Because if you're in the key of C, the related minor key is right underneath it, okay? The key of C major, it's related. Let's talk about relative major and minor for just a moment. Relative major and minor, if you will, is when we have 2 keys that share the same exact set of notes, the exact set of chords, the exact same key signature, but the way they use those notes is different, okay? I always compare, which I probably shouldn't anymore, but I always compare 2 sides of the political fence. It doesn't matter what it is, but imagine 2 people talking that don't agree on something, okay? And they're using the same words. They're using all the same words. But the way that they're using those words is where the key is, okay? It's where it's going to determine what side of the fence they lie on. Does that make sense? So, for instance, if we're in the key of C, the notes are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They're all the notes with no sharps and flats. See, no sharps and flats. And if we're in the key of A minor, it's the same exact thing. No sharps and flats. But what happens is the way the chords are played, the way the notes are played, the succession that they're played and how often they're played, the order, just everything else determines the tonal center, okay? But suffice to say, for every major key, there's a related minor key, and it just means they share the same set of notes, the same set of chords, but it's where the tonal center lies. Is it major or is it minor? So that thing that I started off playing in the beginning, right, is it goes like this. It goes something like, well, I'll have to play it again because I don't remember it. Yeah, so it goes like this. It's A minor, C. Okay, you got that, right? So I did A minor, C, and G. Now, that would work in those 3 chords, and all the notes that I just played work in the key of C and also work in the key of A minor, the related minor. However, I start the chord progression off on a big fat A minor, which really, like I say, at the beginning of a movie, it's the setting of the scene. It's like, here's what's going to happen. Get ready. Okay, that's what it does. So essentially, we're starting off on an A minor. It's saying, hey, we're in A minor. If I started off on a C, I could use the same chords. I won't. I've done it a million times, but if I played the same chord progression, a C, a G, and an A minor, or a C, A minor, G, now it's going to sound more like it's in the key of C. Okay, same sets of notes, same sets of chords. It's just which way are you leaning, okay? So that's what we're talking about, major and minor, relative major and minor. And Mike, we can have that shot again. Thank you, bud. So underneath, so if you wanted the related minor of G, you'd go to E minor right here, right below. If you want the related major, If you wanted the major key of D to find the related minor, you just go to B, and that's the related minor. The song Comfortably Numb utilizes this very nicely. The very first solo, which is in a major key, is centered around D. It's centered around the D note. And the second solo, which everyone knows as being the superior solo, I don't know what I'm saying. It's my favorite. It's in the key of B minor, and the tonal center is a B minor, but he uses the same sets of notes in it. Okay, so again, related major and minor, and that's a big trick of Pink Floyd's. They go in and out of related major and minor. They do that with many songs. They toy around with that tonal center, okay? Same thing going forward. A, if you want to find the related minor. By the way, if you want to do this on the guitar, the related major key, whatever note you're at, whatever note, doesn't matter. If you play an A on your guitar right now, if you want to know the related minor, look, the key of A, go down 3/2 steps. Super easy to do this. Do it right now, or you're not going to believe me. Play an A on the 5th fret of the low E string. 5th fret of the low E string. Play it right now. That's an A, right? Go down 3/2 steps. Bump, bump, bump. Should be the 2nd fret now. And now you're playing an F sharp. That's the related minor. It's the related minor of A, is F sharp. If you're playing an F sharp minor, you want to know what the related major was, you go up 3/2 steps. Okay? You can do this for any key. It doesn't matter what the key is. This rule works for every single one of them. If you're in the key of G, you go down 3/2 steps and you're going to find A. If you're in the key of C, you go down 3/2 steps, you're going to find A. I said G and E, sorry, C and A. If you're in the key of F, you go down 3/2 steps, you're going to find D. It just happens every single time, okay? Super easy. All right, that's how to find the related major and minor. You can also do this if you wanted to do it the hard way. You can go up 4 and find the related key of A. So if you're in the key of C, you just go up 4, and there you go. If you're in the key of G, you go up 4, and it's the key of E minor. You're in the key of D, you go up 4, it's the key of B minor, just like we talked about with Pink Floyd. There it is, B minor. A, you go up 4, there's F sharp, or you just go A is F sharp minor, okay? Got it? Good. Because that's how to determine the relative major and minor. Let's talk about using the circle of fifths to find the 1-4-5 progression. Which chords are 1-4-5? Which ones are 2-3-6? Which one's diminished? What are you talking about, Eric? You've heard do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? You've heard this. If some of this stuff's going over your head, it means you haven't gone in that free course, friends. Get in there and stop making life hard. YourGuitarSage.com/30. Go through that course. Over 500,000 people have gone through it. It's changed their guitar lives. If you don't know the stuff, if this stuff is going over your head, you probably haven't gone through that already, okay? You've got to go through that stuff, and it's free. Okay, so do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I teach this in that course. I teach you the major scale, how to think about it in their intervallic steps, right? The distance between two notes, not hard at all. If I got it and I failed algebra 4 times in college, you can get it, trust me, okay? So on top of that, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, back to do, that will bring us back to do. Do is at the top. Do is at the bottom. It's an octave, okay? An octave, meaning 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Octave. So there's really only 7 notes because these guys are repeats, right? Number 8 and number 1 are repeats, so we have 7 notes. Cool? Yeah? Tracking? Good. Now, each one of these chords have, according to diatonic harmony, okay, all the stuff that we know. You know this in your ear. You may not know the behind-the-scenes thing. Much will be revealed. Okay, so here you go. We have these 7 notes in a particular key, and according to diatonic harmony, I can't even go into the depth with you on it right now. You're gonna either have to follow some of my other videos or get down in the course. It would take an hour, and we don't have an hour. We got about a half hour yet, and I need to get your questions. So the way it goes is the chords go major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished 7. It doesn't have to be that, but according to diatonic harmony, and 99% of the time the chords that you hear are going to abide by those rules. Doesn't mean that if you're a painter, that you want to paint a purple sun with the rays coming out of it. You can do that, but we know it's a sun because where it sits in the sky and the rays coming off and the children flying the kite and stuff, right? You could draw it red. The sun's not red, but maybe it's sunset and we act like it's red or whatever. So that's just artistic license, if you will. So it's not to say that we can't go outside these 7 chords, but most of the time we don't. So again, major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished 7, okay? And that appears all the time. You can break the rules, but if you do, you're breaking the rules. It's not the natural way that things work in music, the natural structure, okay? Now check this out. Here we are, the key is C. Remember we said to find the notes in all the key, we have to go back 1, then we count 7 notes, and then we got the whole key there. Okay, C, F, G, this is our 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5. In the key of C major is a 1, this is the 4, and this is the 5. So you know what 4 chords, by the way, 3 chords, these are the strongest chords in all. These are the strongest chords, bar none, in music. What I mean by that is they're the ones that are used the most. Like in every song, you got to have a 1. The next chord that's going to appear the most is a 4 or a 5. And they're about even. They're about even. If you were to analyze a bunch of thousands of songs, you're going to find that the 4 and the 5 are very even. My tendency tends to lean to the 5 more because there's a stronger pull to the 1. But through some AI, they've determined that the 4 and the 5, it's not a super scientific study, but examining 1,300 tunes, they've determined that the 4 and the 5 are used just about the same amount, okay? So with that being said, though, they're used more than the minor chords are, okay? That said, here's our 1, 4, 5. So 1 is the C, F is the 4, G is the 5. We can do this with any key. In the key of D, the 1, the 4, and the 5. If we did this in the key of G, the 1, the 4, and the 5. If we did this in the key of E flat, the 1, the 4, and the 5. It just works out that way every single time. This video you're probably going to have to watch a few times, and you're going to have to test me because I'm saying it, and if you don't actualize it, go, what? That's so cool. And then go to your fretboard and go, he's not lying. He's telling the truth. There it is. There it is. There it is. If you don't do that, you're not really going to get this. So you might as well be watching some other fun video if you don't realize that you're going to have to practice some of this stuff and apply it to see it and have that aha moment so it sticks in your cerebellum, okay? In your melon, your cerebellum. So, okay, so there's your 1, 4, 5. Very easy. Now check this out. We said that these notes afterwards are also in the key. Watch this. Also, here's your 2, 3, and 6. Not in that order. Here's a 2, 3, and 6. 2, 3, and 6. Okay? So, what does that mean? Well, that's really helpful because if you're trying to write a song and you're like, man, I want to write a song, but I don't know what chords work well together. Well, now you know. It doesn't matter what key. We're using the key of C to keep it simple, but if you want to play a song in the key of C, you could use a C major, an F major, a G major. You could use a D minor, an A minor, or an E minor. What? It can't be that easy, Eric. It is. Once you got the key to decode it, it's super easy. Okay? All right. And then this is diminished, okay? This chord is diminished. I won't get into diminished chords today, but nonetheless. If we want to do this with the key of G, in the key of G, here's the 1, the 4, and the 5, right? Here's the 6, the 2, and the 3. 6, the 2, and the 3, and this is our diminished F sharp. We can do this starting on any note. It doesn't matter, okay? It does not matter. Super cool, right? Getting interesting? Sure it is. Watch this. Let me show you, and this will be the last thing I show you, then I'm going to get to your questions. So get your questions ready, okay? You ready? All right, here we go. So, this is one of the coolest things, I think, about the circle of fifths is, and again, now that I've shown it to you on the fretboard, you don't necessarily need to use this. I don't use the circle of fifths. Even though I know about it, I don't use it. Why, Eric? Why don't you use it? Because I think about things differently. I learned it a different way. I learned it more organically, didn't have proper instruction in the beginning. So I was just learning stuff by myself, and I pieced everything together myself. But it totally abides by all this. It doesn't break any of the rules. It's the same stuff, right? It's just like truth. Truth is truth. it is what it is. It's there for you. If you want it, it's there. So in the same way, it's just facts. That's all it is. Okay. So let's talk about transposing. Okay. So if we wanted to transpose, meaning change keys, let's talk about what changing a key is. A key is a tonal center. You guys are watching this video today because you wanted to learn the secret weapon to decode music. You're not watching this because you want to watch a dog show from 1993 or watch some kid put Mentos into a Pepsi bottle, right? You're here because you want to see the secret code, the secret weapon to decode music, right? Think of that as the subject or the key, the tonal center. The tonal center or the key of a song is that one note and that one chord, the one. It's literally called the one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. That's what I mean by one. It's the one note that all the other notes gravitate to, abide by, everything. One is king, okay? It's always going to come back to that. There's never a song that's been written that didn't have the one in it, okay? Now, there's been many songs, not many, but a few, that have only been written with one chord. George Harrison wrote a couple of them, where he's just pouncing away on that C chord or whatever. He's using the sitar, right? Anyhow, that you can't get away from it. That has one chord in it. Okay, so let's talk about transposing now. So we know what a key is, right? The key, or the tonal center, if you will, is the title. It's the theme of the movie. If you're going to see the movie Bridesmaids, it's going to probably have bridesmaids in it somewhere, and alas, it does, right? If you're going to go see Halloween, the movie Halloween, it's going to have something to do with Halloween, right? It's the title. It's about a slasher who goes nuts on Halloween. Okay, cool. Well, now we know the premise of it. Maybe a movie we want to see, maybe not, but it's the central theme of it. So think about music has a central theme, whether you know it or not. And what I mean by this know it is know it up here. You know it in here. You know when a song is not right. You know when someone's playing a chord out of a key. No, I don't, Eric. I don't know anything about music theory. How would I know that, Eric? You're really confusing me. Okay, let's just see. I'm going to go ahead and play some chords. You tell me if one of these chords don't belong. Okay, here we go. Hold on, let me do this. Let me do this in the key of G. Here we go. Okay, did you hear it? Play it again. That sounds like crap, right? Now, are you some doctorate of music? I ain't. But I know that chord's not right. I know it's not right because my ear tells me it's right, not right, before any of this stuff tells me it's not right. And you heard it too. So this is what I'm saying. You know it in your knower, but you may not know how it works. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I don't have to go on any more on that. You understand that, right? So now we know what the tonal center is, and we know that things naturally appear, okay, in these keys. Now that we know what the tonal center is, let's talk about transposing seamlessly to a tonal center. Okay, so now, what you want to notice is that just like the key of C and the key of A minor, they share the exact same sets of notes. It's super, super easy. In fact, the easiest of all to transpose back and forth between the related major and minor. Okay, that's the easiest transposition. Pink Floyd does it all the time. I've done it a million times. It's done all the time. So much so that in Nashville they don't even recognize minor keys. It's just a major key, and sometimes you go to the minor notes, the minor chords. Okay, so the very first easy way to transpose is going between the related major and minor: G to E minor, D to B minor, A to F sharp minor, E to C sharp minor, etc., etc. Cool, great. Now the next way. Now the reason I said that is because they don't differ in their key signature. They don't differ in the sharps and flats. If you're playing the key of C on the piano, it's all the white keys. If you're playing in the key of A minor, it's all the white keys. They share the same sets of notes, okay? I know some light bulbs just came on just now. So when you don't change the notes, or you change the least amount of notes, then transposing to that key is much, much smoother, okay? If you've watched my videos on modal transmutations, or borrowed chords, or any temporary key changes and that sort of thing, essentially, this is we're talking about that a little bit here, okay? Don't want to go over your heads. Check this out. In the key of C, if we go to the F, to the key of F or the key of G, those are going to be the ones that relate the most to the key of C, because there's not much happening different. If we go from the key of C to the key of F, we just have a flat added. That's it, okay? One flat added, okay? Now, because of that, the notes will be very close to the same. The chords will be similar, okay, or at least the structure of them. Same thing with the key of G. Difference between the key of C and G, the key of G on the piano is the next most used key because it only has one sharp. Because people get confused when they start dealing with the sharps and flats sometimes, so they like to keep it simple. So C and G are the most popular keys because of that. And you notice right here that we just have one sharp. Now, as we start going down, now these keys are going to be harder and harder to transpose to. What I mean by harder and harder is they're just not going to sound very good, okay? Unless you're doing what's called the crowbar modulation, what we call jokingly refer to as the crowbar modulation, where you're in the key of C, and then after playing the chorus 10 times at the end of the song, you want to play it more. Producer's like, let's play it more. Well, let's just bring it up a half step to the key of C sharp. Then that would be this very, I say, awkward transposition. It's like all the notes are different, but it works because we were just in that key, and then it has this feeling of raising up, right? They do this in church all the time, especially Pentecostal churches. They like to ramp it up, change key, change key, change key, get everybody excited. I've been in them before. I've experienced it, and it gets quite exciting. Okay, all right, so there you go. If you're in the key of C, the F and the G will be the ones that relate the most to it. If you're in the key of E, the ones that would relate closest to it are the keys of A and B. If you're in the key of A flat, the ones that are going to be closest are E flat and D flat. That's just the way it works, okay? If you want to do something that sounds completely the opposite, then you're going to go over to this side of the program, okay? These three here would be the ones that sounded most unlike it, okay? Now, that's a lot. I just gave you a lot of stuff. I know. Some of it went over your head. Feel free to, if you're a UGS member already, a pro member, get in there and check just search Circle of Fifths, and then you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. If you want to check out the Unstoppable Guitar System, go to YourGuitarSage.com/UGS and check that out, okay? The $1 offer is available in there. It's for 30 days. Make sure you pick where you want it to go after 30 days, or get out of there if you don't want to be charged. Okay? So you got that. If you'd like to check out the Unstoppable Guitar System for free, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Link is below. That'll give you the first 30 or so lessons of 1,000 plus lessons. Okay? So lots and lots and lots of stuff in there. Okay? Excellent. Here we go. Let's get to some questions. So starting now. Okay. Why have the inner circle? Why have the inner circle with the minor associated key when you can just count 3 clockwise from the tonic? You can do that. Yes, Mike, you definitely can do that. This is the cool thing about when you understand different perspectives. Lord, rain down different perspectives on us. If people just had different perspectives, they would understand so much more, right? So, we're talking about music. You're saying, well, why not do that? Why not? That's another way, but why not do it this way as well, okay? You could do it different ways. So it's like looking at a sculpture from different angles. If you're looking at it from this angle, the light's going to hit a certain way, and you're going to get certain details. You look at it from this angle, you're going to get more details. So I'm a big fan of learning things from all different angles, and then when you're playing, it's just automatic. It's just stuff starts, you know what to do because you've learned it in all these different ways. But indeed, the way you're talking about it, Mike, is the way that I've done it for years, you know? Okay. How do you figure out what the sharps are in a key? I did go over that. That was the first thing I went over, my friend. So check that out in the beginning, okay? Mike, let's go back to this real quick for just 1 second, actually, and let me go ahead and show him something here. Okay, I'm going to just reiterate this. Okay, so if we're in the key of C, right, we're getting all these guys. Well, number one, you can just look up here and see there's no sharps and flats. But obviously, if we're using the notes, we go back, we count 7 notes, and we have the B, and there's no sharps and flats. If we're in the key of G, we go back 1 note. We got C, G, D, A, E, B, and F sharp. That's how you know what notes are sharp. 1 sharp is right there. If we're in the key of D, it's saying 2 sharps. Let's see. We go back 1 to the G. We count 1. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have an F and a C sharp. And look, the F and the C sharp show up right there. Same thing with the key of A. We're going to grab the D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. An A flat is a G sharp, and that's what we have right here. Does that make sense? Same thing if we're doing if we're going backwards here. Okay. Does that make sense? It's a little bit different going backwards with the flats. Let's see if I recall how to do that one. I don't use the circle of flats very often, so I had to actually refresh myself here on it. Every good boy does. Okay, yes, okay. So same thing here, the key of B flat. So we're going to go backwards, and we're going to grab 7 notes, and then you're going to see that there's just the E and the B flat, and that's what we have here for the B flat. So we have every good boy, that's a B, and F-A-C-E, that's an E. So a B and an E, those are the 2 notes that are flat in that key. Cool? Okay, make sense? Good. Okay. So where do 7th chords come from when writing a song? Merle. That's a whole nother subject, but essentially, if you take any scale and you play the 1, and you play the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7, you will get a major 7 chord. If you start on the 2, and you do the same leapfrogging method of leaping over a note, leaping over a note, leaping over a note. So we play a 2, a 4, a 6, a 2, a 4, a 6, and a 1, then you'll have a minor 7 chord. It's natural. That's how the notes, the intervals naturally appear. You know how we have the major scale and it goes whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Well, we know that if we were to move those combos around, we're going to get different chords almost every time. So that's where the 7th chords come from. You play the 1, the 3, and the 5, and then you skip over the 6 and go to the 7. So notice if we play a 1, 3, 5, 7, which is a 7th chord, we're skipping over the 2, 4, and 6. You just literally skip over them. Don't play those notes. Play the 1, skip over the 2, play the 3, skip over the 4, play the 5, skip over the 6, play the 7. And because of that, then we have a 1, 3, 5, 7 chord, and whatever that combination is makes it major 7, dominant 7, minor 7th, that sort of thing. Diminished 7. Make sense? Okay. Can you use a dominant chord to change the key center? Yes, it's used all the time. In fact, it's yes. So, like for instance, what a lot of times people will do is instead of making the dominant chord the 5, right, which is the only chord that is dominant, at least according to diatonic harmony. It's the only dominant chord, right? Well, I should say it this way: it's the only dominant 7th chord. So. I'm really getting into the weeds here with some folks, but here we go. It goes major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7th. The 5 is a dominant 7th, a minor 7th, and then diminished 7, or half diminished 7. Half diminished 7. I'm not sure. I think so. I know how to play it. I just, the 5 is dominant 7th, okay? So, that being said, if you were to play and then you make the 4 a dominant 7th, yeah, you could pull it back to another key, and that's done quite often. Okay, good. Yeah, Clark knows what I'm talking about here. Good. My knees. Why is it called the dominant chord when it doesn't dominate the song? The tonic dominates the song. It's a great question, and I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but it is dominant in that it comes it is the one chord that really pulls hard back to one. They all want to go back to one, but it's the one that like, you know, if it's magnetics, it's polar opposite, right? And it really wants to pull back to the other. Okay. Okay, so a secondary dominant chord. This is again, I'm getting into the weeds here. I feel like I might, you know, confuse some people, but a secondary dominant chord is a chord that I don't even think I'm going to define it properly. It's a chord that acts as the 5 of the chord. So it's literally what we're talking about right now. It's a chord that acts as the dominant chord, and then it pulls to some other chord. That's what we call secondary dominant. 95% sure on that one. Again, you know, some of the stuff that I teach you guys, like the circle of fifths, I don't personally use it very often. I mean, I do. I use it all the time, but I don't use it in the way that I'm showing you. Doesn't mean I'm not discouraging you to not. Everybody learns a different way. I learned it essentially on the fretboard myself, just finding patterns, and it wasn't like, oh my God, this is a game changer, but it is for certain things. Yeah, you know, for changing keys and what have you, it really is. So, some of these things, like I said, I'm teaching them to you because I think they can be helpful, but it may not even be things that I use all the time, okay? Okay, is there a formula for writing a bridge to a 1-4-5 progression? Is there a formula? No, there's no formula. This is art. That'd be like saying, is there a formula for painting a picture? Nope. I mean, yeah, you draw circles for the heads and lines, and you do all that stuff, but is there a formula? No, you write what you want. What I like to do is this. So let's say I'm playing a chord progression like this. I'm playing... The most simple chord progression is a 1-4-5. What I like to do to go to a different section is I start off the next section on a different chord. And bring it back to the verse. So like that's what I would do is like I got one section, it starts on the G, it's playing through the G, maybe the chorus starts on an A minor, and then it immediately pulls me into a different mood. You hear this a lot. I mean, this is not a new thing that I'm doing here, but that's what happens a lot. And then when you go to a bridge, bring it to another chord, start it on another chord, and let it kind of unravel for you. That's how I've always written. How can a song in C major sound happy and a song in A minor sound sad, but they have the exact same sets of notes? Exactly. Well, watch this, okay? What happens if I was talking about, God, so many things to talk about today. I could do this, but I won't. But you could do anything, okay? Censorship, okay? We won't go down the rabbit hole, but censorship. There are a lot of people right now who are like, I think it's super, super important to squelch the First Amendment, to not allow people to speak what they believe is right. There are people that are saying that right now. And there are people who are saying, I don't think that's right. I really think that you should allow people to say whatever they want, not necessarily do whatever they want, but to say, to speak their heart so that we can all discuss things, right? So think about that. You got two different, they're using the same exact words, right? Freedom and whatever. All the different things that one might use, but the way they're using those words is different, right? The old plowshares to spears, right? They beat the plowshares to spears. You can use steel to plow a field and to create crops, and you can use it for a sword. So it just depends. What you could use a gun to defend yourself. You can use it to hurt someone innocent. It just depends on how you're using that thing. So we could do this with all sorts of things. That's how it can do it. And funny enough, you can take a song that's in a major key and make it sound kind of sad, and you can take a song that's in a minor key and make it sound pretty cool. Make it sound pretty happy. So like if I were to do like that's not super sad, right? It's not sad, but it's in the key of A minor. But I could take something like this and I could go. She left me sitting at that bar. You can make it all sad, and it's actually in a major key. So you really do some really cool things with the way you deliver the message, okay? Do you have a printable version of the Circle of Fifths pictured in UGS? I do, yes. I've got a PDF for you, friends. Yeah, it's under Circle of Fifths in the Advanced Plus section of UGS. Thank you, Willie. Is it easier to read, to sight read staff, or read tablature? It's definitely easier to read tablature to start. That said, if you are a pit player, if you're an orchestra player, that sort of thing, so much easier to read music once you learn how to do it because tablature is a shorthand, and it's meant for folks who want to use that method. So, okay, cool. All caps and a question mark with the questions, if you would, friends. My knees hurt. Get your drinks ready. Oh, I'm staying on subject today. No need for me to get in the way. Can you discuss the Circle of Fifths with the Nashville number system? They relate and they don't relate. Notes relate, but it's not like it's the same thing. When we're calling something a 1 or a 5 or a 2 and 3 and a 6 or a minor 2 and a minor 3 and minor 6, that's a Nashville number system, Michael. So that's what we're doing. We're just identifying the intervallic relationship, and we're also identifying the chords sometimes, okay? Where'd you guys think I was going off? Where'd you guys think I was going off subject? I'm sticking. Would you say, Eric, that it's not always the chords that make the song sad? It can depend on how you are playing and what the lyrics are? Yes, indeed. Yeah. But we're just talking, take out the lyrics for a minute, because I don't think that's fair, right? Let's just talk about the music in and of itself. If you just forget about the lyrics, just look at the music, you can make a song sound sadder by slowing it down. They've proven that slows the heartbeat down. Not massively, but it does. Faster songs increase the heartbeat. They just do. Okay? Okay. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star in A minor? No, it's in a major key. Yep. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star was written by Amadeus Mozart, if you didn't know that. ABC, the song ABC, is the same as Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, same exact melody, was written by Amadeus Mozart. It's called Theme and Variation. We studied it in college. Listen to it. If you just search Mozart Theme and Variation on YouTube, you'll find it, and it starts off very simple, and then all the different variations come in, and it's gets pretty fun. Yeah. Why are sharps and flats on a sheet of music, and we always talk about major and minor chords? So Kevin, you, my friend, precisely need to be in the course that I'm giving you for free today, because you need to understand the difference between the two. A sharp and a flat, when we're talking about a sharp and a flat, we're talking about a note. We can be talking about a chord, but we're talking about the chord as it relates to the tonic, the root of the chord. And so if I say a flat 7, I mean take the flat 7, take the 7th scale step. Flat 7 chord would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Flat it, and that would be our chord, F. Okay, so when we're talking about sharps or flats, really what we're talking about is we're talking about the intervallic relationship. We're talking about major and minor. We can be talking about the intervallic relationship, like a major third or a minor third, but we're also talking about, we can talk about chords that way, okay? So, Kevin, I would suggest getting in that free course I've got for you today. First link below, YourGuitarSage.com/30, because I cover so much of this, okay? Okay, if we take a 1, flat 3, 5, major 7, what kind of chord would that be? You ready for it? It's called a minor major 7. I'm not joking. It's a minor. The one flat 3 and 5 is a minor chord. And when we say major 7, that's the interval that's on top of it. So if I say to you, this is a C major 7 chord, what we mean by that, it's a C major chord with a major 7 on top of it. So the C means C major. We don't have to say major. We don't say C major, major 7. We just say C. Hey, what chord you playing? A C. Hey, what chord you playing? An F. Is it an F diminished or an F major? It's an F. I said F. F is F every time. F is F major every time. C is C major every time. G is G major every time. So when we say C major 7, what we mean by that is it's a C chord. It's a C major chord, right? Throw a major 7 on top of it. So if we have a 1, flat 3, and a 5, that is a minor chord. We know that, right? Major chord is a 1, 3, 5. So we take the 3 notes from the major scale, 1, 3, 5, that's major. And if we take a 1, flat 3, 5, that's a, you know, okay, that is a G minor. And then we throw the major on top of it, major 7, then we have a minor major 7. Cool? I know, it's ridiculous. If minor is sad and major happy, then what are the modes described? Mike, people get obsessed with the modes. People don't use the modes, not in the way that you think they do. People aren't writing songs in modes. You're going to have some propeller head nerd in here who says, oh yeah, Bjork had a passage in one of her songs where they started off with a bass line that was in Aeolian diminished dominant 7th, whatever, and just like start throwing some stuff out. It just doesn't happen. It's not to say you can't kind of dip your foot in there, but I'm telling you, I've played thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of songs, and I've never really played one that I could legitimately call being played in a mode. The song, there's probably a handful of them. Okay, Eleanor Rigby. Eleanor Rigby has one note in it that could be argued that we're playing in the Dorian mode, which the Dorian mode is the Aeolian mode, aka the minor scale, with one note difference. Okay, with one note difference. That's it. So one could say, hey, that's in the Dorian mode, or you could just say it's in a minor key, and this is the tonal center. It's just, I don't know. So now they used to use modes. My understanding, they used to use them more, but not like we use major and minor. Okay. How often do people who buy a guitar actually follow along with it? I don't know. I'd say there's a lot of people that probably don't. How to know the key of a particular song? Listen to the first chord and the last chord of the song, or the last chord of the chorus, or the last note of the chorus. I have a video for this. Search YourGuitarSage key, and I'll show you how to do that. But there's a few different ways you can do it. Usually the first chord, last chord of the song, but also the notes that you're hearing. If you write all those down, that'll tell you what the key is. All the chords, that'll tell you what the key is. Okay? Wow, just influx of questions. What else can the circle of fifths teach us? Can it help with scales? I showed you the big stuff. But I have the full course inside of UGS, so you can check that out, okay? Okay, Kevin, what was a stupid question? Oh. Gotcha, okay, I got you. You're tracking with me. It's not a stupid question at all. I gave it to you as a vet. Oh, beautiful, Kevin. Thank you. So if you are a veteran and you would like to get in the Unstoppable Guitar System, if you're a U.S. veteran or know someone who's a U.S. veteran and would like to get into the Unstoppable Guitar System, a $685 value lifetime membership, I will give that to you for free. Visit YourGuitarSage.com/veterans, okay? Okay, sweet. All right, my friends, I think that is it. No more questions here. No more questions here. Oh, hold on. I have a cheap guitar now, and I'm using it for practice. I sort of play the bar chords. Bar chords get muted. Will I improve if I upgrade to a better guitar? You won't improve if you upgrade to a better. Well, I should say, whether you get a new guitar or not, you're going to improve if you're practicing. Will the guitar help? It just depends on the guitar. You could go backwards. It could be harder to play, okay? Make sense? Okay. Beautiful. Air Force there. Okay, beautiful. Okay, Jill, no, the circle of fifths doesn't really relate to the cage system per se. I mean, it's all in there. It's all part and parcel. You can't get away from one. We're all together. Music's all together. I mean, it's all there. You can just see it mapped out there. I could look at both at the same time and actualize it, but no. They're separate subjects, okay? Okay, my friends, that is it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. You guys have been amazing. Click the links below, YourGuitarSage.com/30. You got to go there if you want that free course. Friends, at least go through those videos. I have nothing to gain by it. I have zero to gain. You'll be using my resources. I'm fine with that. I'm here to help you. I wouldn't be doing all this free stuff if I didn't want to help you. So go there, check that out. It will absolutely change the way you play. And like I said, we've had over 500,000 folks get into that program already, and it's absolutely changed their guitar life. So do it. All right, my friends, I'm out of here. National Popcorn Day. Go get some popcorn. I'll see you.